Happy Tuesday! My name is Alan.
And my name is Nick.
And welcome into the dungeon. The fatigue of the brothers' ordeal finally catches up to them. They are now finding it impossible to keep their eyes open. Nolrim shows the LoneWolves to a bunk in the hull of the Skyrider. Gratefully, the brothers climb into bed and pull the blankets over their aching limbs. Nolrim apologizes that the bunk is short, but his words fall on deaf ears, as the brothers are already asleep. We get to restore 2 endurance points for this much needed rest. And then we turn to section 300. The brothers wake shortly after dawn to the sound of snoring dwarves and the low hum of the Skyrider. Gathering their equipment, they climb onto deck to find everything in shadow. For the Skyrider is hovering beneath a massive outcrop of sandstone that juts out from the side of a mountain, thousands of feet above the valley floor below. Banadon stands at the helm, but he is no longer in a trance. "Kran Riders!" he says, pointing to the sun-bleached valley beyond the shadows. "They arrived at dawn!" The brothers stare out across the alien landscape. A mountain valley filled with pillars of massive and precariously balanced boulders. The Vasagonians call this place the Coos, the Needles. The rocky columns reach so high into the sky that an avalanche seems unavoidable. Perched upon 2 of the columns are Kran, their Dracarim riders scouring the valley with telescopes. An hour passes before they take to the air and disappear. "Trim the boom sail, Bosun Norlim!" orders Banadon, his voice barely audible above the increasing hum of the Skyrider. "With a fast run ahead!" If we possess a black crystal cube, which we do not, we turn to section 229, and if we do not have this special item, we turn to section 247.
The voyage for the Coos is breathtaking. The Skyrider glides between the towers of rock that rise from the valley floor with fantastic and unearthly grandeur. Far below, sulphurous water bubbles from fissures in the orange ground, and streams of hissing lava carve circular channels, which glow like motes of liquid fire. The brothers watch the sky, but there are no signs of the enemy.
"Ikarish,"
says Banadon pensively.
"The eagle lair. That is where we will find Tipasa the Wanderer. It is a place of his birth, and the home of his family. He roams a dry main, but he always returns to Ikarish."
It is late afternoon when the LoneWolves reach the hills beyond the Coos that overlook the town of Ikarish. Banadon moors the Skyrider to a pinnacle of stone, and a rope ladder is lowered to the ground. It has been decided that the LoneWolves and he will enter Ikarish on foot and locate Tipasa, while Nolrim and the crew wait in hiding for them to return. The sight of the Skyrider hovering above the mountain town would be sure to arouse unwanted interest in the LoneWolves' arrival. The Kai Lords and Banadon prepare themselves for their mission by staining their skins with brown kopala berries and dressing in the grey and white robes commonly worn by the mountain people of this region. They bid farewell to Nolrim and set off across the barren hills.
So again, we turn to the random number table, and we have to roll. If we roll a 0 to 2, we turn to section 337. If we roll a 3 to 9, we turn to section 383. As always, one of us will roll first. I'll go first this time. If we fall on the same bracket, we choose that bracket. If not, the highest rolls again to choose our destiny. I've just rolled a 4. Nick rolls an 8. So I don't think it's the same bracket.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah, it is. So we turn to section 383. The brothers and Banadon trudge through the loose red sand, their faces covered to protect them from the dust and blazing heat. The landscape is stark and desolate. All that seems to thrive here is a wire-hard grass that scratches their boots and leggings. They soon come across a dried riverbed that leads to a cave in the orange sandstone hillside. A wooden plaque is nailed by the mouth of the cave, but the brothers are unable to understand the strange words painted on its sun-blistered surface. We are given 2 options. If we wish to investigate the cave, we turn to section 235. If we wish to press onwards to Ikaresh, we turn to 272.
I think we're going to press on.
Yeah, no time to waste in caves. Ikaresh it is.
The brothers and Banadon follow a path along a dry gully, the bed of an ancient river that once flowed through the mountains. An arid breeze blows eddies of red dust along the banks of dead earth. The wide-walled buildings of Ikaresh suddenly appear, and as the dust settles, the brothers and Banadon find themselves standing in a small square close to the open archway of the town's east gate. Perched upon a tall basalt monolith in the centre of the square is an eagle, the emblem of this mountain town. Cast in bronze, 3 bronze arrows are held in its beak, each indicating an exit from the square. If we wish to go north towards the Duga market, we turn to 376. If we wish to go west towards the main square, 216. And if we wish to go south along the Avenue of Eagles, 342. Alright, Banadon, which way do we go?
Yeah, you tell us. You know this guy. I'm thinking Avenue of Eagles because this guy sounds important. Ikaresh? No, Ikaresh wasn't his name. Whatever his name was. He sounds important, so I'm thinking Avenue of Eagles. That sounds like where important people live.
That sounds good to me.
Alright, so we turn to section 342. The delicious smell of freshly brewed jala wafts from an eating house halfway along the avenue. Chattering voices mingle with the clink of glasses, and the wailing cry of a hungry baby fills the air. If we wish to enter the eating house, we turn to 296. If we wish to continue along the avenue, we turn to 227. I mean, again, I don't think we are here to sightsee, right?
No, I'm just thinking maybe one of the people in there, one of the patrons, has seen the person we're looking for.
Perhaps. I mean, it's always a good place to ask at inns, taverns, and eating houses.
Yeah, we've got no idea where this guy is. Banadon's been of absolutely no use here.
So you want to go in, have a popping, and ask some questions, maybe?
Yeah, hopefully that gives us a choice to do so.
Okay, 296 then. We enter the eating house.
Inside, the eating house is full of townsfolk, all seated at small stone tables. Ornate hubble-bubble pipes add to the colourful atmosphere as the smokers discuss all kinds of matters. A quarrelsome trio of Ikareshi are lamenting the death of the old Zakan. Others give voice to various grievances, calling their new leader an ox, a brute, and other such names. In the brothers' opinion, they speak too highly of him. 2 rough-faced Ikareshi bid them welcome and invite them to share their pipe. I don't think we've got time here to smoke and chat.
Not really. Unless, I don't know. Again, if our intention was to find information, perhaps we need to spend the time, sit down with the locals and try and find that information. But what's in that ornate hubble-bubble pipe?
Is it just tobacco or is it something stronger?
Exactly. So we have 2 options. We either accept their offer and sit down with them, or we decline and we can leave the eating house and continue along the avenue.
I mean, they're talking ill of the new Zakan, so I don't think they're a threat, but I'm a bit wary of that hubble bubble.
Yeah, I think we find another place where they're not smoking.
Yeah, I agree. 388?
Apologies, friends, but we must move on.
Thank you. We mean no offense. Enjoy.
Yeah, we turn to section 388. We carry on. We leave the eating house. The brothers and Banadon follow the avenue as it twists and turns through the armourer's quarter of Ikaresh. A street vendor is selling a selection of swords and daggers that catch their eye. They are beautifully crafted, well balanced and very sharp. A wooden sign displays his prices. Swords, 5 gold crowns each. Daggers, 3 gold crowns each. Broadswords, 9 gold crowns each. We may purchase any of the above weapons if we wish.
I'm good. I'm sorted.
Yeah, I don't think I won't. I've got my bone scimitar. I'm good with that. So continuing along the avenue, brothers and Banadon pass a meat market, where carcasses of oxen are hung out in the open. They are not surprised to see the Ikareshi of this quarter walking about the streets with pieces of cotton stuffed into their nostrils, suspended by a thread around their necks, for the smell is dreadful. Eventually, they arrive at a fork, but there are no signs to indicate where the new streets lead.
We need to take either the left or the right street.
As we've always said, the right street is the right street. So we turn right.
Section 367. Silently, the brothers and Banadon are beginning to despair. The street is becoming narrower and more disgusting the further they go. A scraggy cat dashes across their path, closely pursued by an equally scraggy street urchin. The dagger that he carries in his hand suggests that he's trying to catch his supper. As the brothers are about to give up and suggest to Banadon that they should retrace their steps to the junction, when the street ends and abruptly turns left, a sign on the opposite wall points towards the Duga market. If we wish to follow the sign, we turn to 376. If we wish to go back and take the other street, we turn to 216.
Okay, so we follow the sign and we go to the Duga market, or we go back and take the left road instead of the right road?
I'm thinking we go to the Duga market.
Yeah.
There should be people around there. Maybe somebody's seen this guy.
Okay. 40 paces along the street is a barracks. A long whitewashed building with ugly square windows. A soldier sits dozing in the evening sun, with his spear resting across his lap. Some children are tossing hollowed out larnuma fruits at him, trying to catch them upon the tip of his spear. Opposite the barracks is a tavern with a line of saddled dugas tied to a rail near the main door. The braying of these sand horses rivals the sound of the revelry drifting from the tavern door. If we wish to enter the tavern, we turn to 351. If we wish to continue along the street towards the Duga market, we turn to 202. So, I don't know, this is what we were looking for, the tavern, right? A tavern to ask questions.
Yeah, this sounds like the kind of place.
Yep.
351?
Yeah, let's go.
As they approach the door, Banadon offers the brothers a word of advice.
Take care to guard your gold, LoneWolves. Nothing tempts the Ikareshi more than a full purse. You can trust their honor, but if you had to trust their honesty, they will steal the hair from your head.
That's good to know. Thank you, Banadon. Inside the tavern, the mood is one of celebration. Tables have been drawn together to form a large semicircle, in front of which stands a small, broad-shouldered man, dressed lavishly in an embroidered costume. This sounds like a wizard if I ever heard one. A gold-mounted sword hangs by his side, its blue velvet scabbard as vivid in colour as the man's silk pantaloons. Affectionately, the man embraces his companions, kisses the friends and relatives who have travelled so many miles to celebrate his wedding. Oh, the wedding crashes. At his side sits his bride, her face concealed behind a veil of shimmering pearls. Suddenly the tavern is filled with music as the guests take to the floor for their wedding dance. On the far side of the floor, the brothers see the owner of the tavern, a stout old lady dressed in somber black. She watches the festivities with tears in her eyes. We've got two options here. We wish to approach her and ask where Tipasa the Wanderer may be found. We turn to 276. If we wish to leave the tavern and continue on the street, 202.
Yeah, I think we need to ask, because we have no idea where this guy is.
Why do you ask?
She replies suspiciously, blinking the tears from her eyes.
What business do you have with old Tipasa?
He is a friend.
Replies Banadon, placing a gold crown on the tavern counter. The old woman covers a coin with her hand, her expression shrewd and calculating.
Sushila is old. Her memory has faded with the passing years.
She says, waiting expectantly and glancing at Banadon's money pouch. He opens a flap to remove another crown, but the pouch has been emptied by a nimble pickpocket. Sheepishly, he avoids the brother's stare, his face growing redder by the second.
5 gold crowns may refresh my memory,
She says, her gaze now resting from Toring to Lunda.
Here's 5 gold crowns. Please, any information you have on Tipasa.
Yeah, that means that we now turn to section 326 as we take 5 gold from our pouches.
Walk along the street to the Duga market. Behind the stables, there is an alley. Tipasa lives there, in the house with the blue door. As the brothers make their way for the dancing crowd to the tavern door, they take care to keep both hands on their belt pouches. An embarrassed Banadon follows in their footsteps, cursing his misfortune under his breath. No options here but to turn to section 202.
The brothers pass under an arch where 2 brass-gilded conical towers gleam like gold and enter a marketplace crowded with squabbling merchants. Exotic carpets, brightly coloured material, and all manner of foods are being bought, sold, and haggled over. The north side of the marketplace is devoted to the auction of dugas. The sleek but noisy desert beasts are being paraded for the benefit of the bidders around a paddock adjoining the stables. Just past the stables, a street vanishes into the carpet weavers' quarter of Ikaresh. If we wish to investigate the stables, we turn to 309. If we wish to ask one of the merchants if they know where Tipasa lives, we turn to 248. And if we wish to leave the marketplace, we continue along the adjoining street and turn to 386.
Well, we're supposed to know where Tipasa lives by now. Unless this is insinuating that perhaps we don't trust that woman.
Well, she said it was behind the marketplace or something like that, right?
Yeah, the blue door. I think we should ask the merchants.
Yeah, just to double check.
248?
Yeah.
A small heavy-set merchant is hawking his wares from a stall set close to the archway. His small beady eyes twinkle from beneath a ridiculously oversized turban. As the lone wolves approach, he launches himself at them, desperately trying, with a flood of wild claims, to persuade them to buy his obviously inferior goods. He looks surprised when they interrupt him with their question.
Tipasa! Tipasa!
He answers.
Yes, I know where he lives.
He holds up a gaudy waistcoat of pink and orange sackcloth and offers it to the brothers.
It would make a worthy gift for your esteemed friend.
He suggests, his eyes continually glancing at Torrin's belt pouch.
Only 5 gold crowns, master.
The brothers realize they will first have to purchase this ridiculous garment before the merchant tells them where Tipasa lives.
So if we wish to buy the waistcoat, we pay the man 5 gold crowns and turn to 328. The other option is not buying it and we turn to 274. But I believe that we must buy it to find out where this guy is.
Here you go! Just take the 5. It's a nice waistcoat anyway.
328 it is then. The merchant's face beams with joy as he pockets Torrin's gold.
The first alley on the left past the stables.
He says.
He lives in the house with a blue door.
The brothers hurry across the crowded marketplace towards the stables and into the street beyond. As they turn into the rubbish-strewn alley, they see the blue door facing them at the end of the passage. No options but to turn to 206.
So the old lady wasn't lying?
No, she wasn't.
I don't know why we couldn't find it. Maybe we did if we had gone to a state, I don't know. Anyway, turn to section 206. There is no reply to Lander's first knock. He is about to knock again when the door opens a few inches and the red-rimmed eyes of an old woman stare out from the darkness.
Baradon!
She exclaims, a voice hoarse and shaky.
Thank the gods it is you!
She ushers everyone inside and locks the door. The house is sparsely furnished, and what little is there is either damaged or broken.
They've taken him, Baradon! They've taken my husband! The men with the faces of the dead, 10 days ago. They came like shadows in the night.
She breaks down. A frail body racked by sobs. Banadon comforts her as best he can, but the brothers sense he shares a bitter loss. The Drakarim have taken Tipasa, of that there is little doubt, but now they will have made him tell everything he knows about the tomb of the Majhan.
We will find him, I promise you,
says Banadon, wiping the tears from the old woman's face.
But you must try to help us, if you can. Tipasa always kept a diary of his travels. Do you have it still?
A flicker of hope shines in the old woman's eyes. Yes, it is here. He told me to hide it when the evil men came for him. She kneels at an empty fireplace and prizes a loose brick from the chimney. A leather-bound book drops from its hiding place into her hand. She gives it to Banadon, who studies the yellowed pages, his face lined in thought. The brothers notice that the book is full of cryptic symbols, numbers, and pictograms.
They are drawn by the night stars,
says Banadon, tracing his finger along the astronomical drawings.
They hold the secret, I know, but without my star charts we cannot hope to find the tomb. We must return to the Sky Rider at first light. There I shall be able to make some sense of this book.
No options here but to turn to section 331.
The brothers have little sleep that night, as they lie thinking about the quest that lies before them, haunted by the fear that the Dark Lords may already have found the book of the Magna Kai. They rise before dawn and breakfast on a meal of sheep's butter and dried milk cake, before bidding farewell to Tipasa's wife. The trek back to the Sky Rider passes uneventfully, and by noon they have reached the rocky crag where the craft is moored. Nolrim is the first to greet them, but he cannot hide his disappointment that they have returned unaccompanied.
Do not worry, the answer lies here,
says Banadon, holding up Tipasa's diary.
Prepare to set sail.
As the Sky Rider rises into the clear blue sky, Banadon hands over the helm to Nolrim and bids for the brothers to follow him to his quarters at the prow. For 3 hours, he pores over his charts, making calculations, checking instrument readings, and racking his brain for the solution that will pinpoint the tomb of the Majhan.
It is no use,
he says, tired and exasperated.
I cannot fathom these numbers.
As the Kai Lords peer at the pages of Tipasa's diary, suddenly they realize that they're written in code. What Banadon has assumed to be positions of stars is a code to 3 numbers that give the precise location of the tomb. We've got to consult the map to help us discover the location of the tomb of the Majhan. The first of the 3 numbers is equal to the number of oases on the trail between Ikaresh and Bir Khrabelu. The second number is equal to the number of cities in Vasagonia. The third number is equal to the number of islands off the coast of Cape Kabar. When we have broken the code, we must write the numbers in the order and turn to the entry number that they indicate. So, the number of oases, are these the little trees on the map?
Oh, I don't know.
They must be. They look like little palm trees in the middle of the desert.
And he said the number of oases where? In the Empire of Vasagonia?
On the trail between Ikaresh and Bir Khrabelu.
Okay, so here on the map we have Ikaresh.
Okay, so assuming those little trees are the oases. Oh yeah, look, there's a key here.
Oh yeah, oasis. Okay, yeah. So those are definitely oases.
So yeah, there's 3. So that's our first number, 3.
Number 3. The second number would be the cities in Vasagonia.
Yeah, and there's 7 of those. And the third number is the number of islands off the coast of Cape Kabar.
And that seems to be 3, judging by the map. So our final number is 373.
That's it!
Exclaims Banadon, stabbing his finger at a map of the dry main that covers his chart table.
115 miles due west of Bir Rabalu. 115 miles due south of the aces of Balaloftan.
He picks up a quill pen and marks a spot.
The tomb of the Majhan.
The brothers study the map and ponder the miles of desolation separating them from their goal. Banadon notices their look of dismay and quickly tries to put their minds at ease.
Fear not, lone wolves. We'll be there before the dawn.
The brothers smile at his confidence, but it's not the actual journey that worries them. Their concern is what they may or may not find upon their arrival. And what they may or may not find upon their arrival, we will have to wait another week.
Ooh, because this is where we're gonna end it.
What will the brothers find? Will they be able to find Tipasa? You're gonna have to tune in next week. We really hope you've enjoyed this episode as much as we have. And if you can't wait a whole week for your Into the Dungeon fix, remember to visit our website www.i2td.com. And if you can't wait a whole week, do what we always tell you to do. Visit our website www.i2td.com and follow our links there to our social media pages, to our Discord server, and of course to our Buy Me a Coffee page. Whilst you're there, you can make a one-off donation, which will help the podcast, but it will also give you the opportunity to be a part of the stories we tell and help shape the adventures we play. For that potion will appear in-game as a reroll.
If you cannot donate or wish not to, do not worry. You can always help us out tremendously by liking our stuff, commenting on our videos on YouTube, subscribing there as well, and leaving reviews and ratings on your podcast player of choice. Also maybe comment there too. Spread the word to your friends and family. Let them know about Into the Dungeon and what we're doing here. And anything you do like that will truly help us, and we are very grateful for it, so thank you. And that now leads us to the end of the episode, club.
The last one standing.
You know what to do? You need to use the password we are about to give you. Enter it in a comment in our Discord server.
On the channel, The Last One Standing.
That's correct. And then we will decide who is El Guidomas brother for that week. But do you have a password for us this week, Nick?
Of course I got a password. This week's one is Wild Goose Chase.
Ooh.
2 reasons. We've been on a wild goose chase looking for Tipasa, and the elusive goose egg has not shown itself in 2 episodes.
That's correct. No goose egg. And by the goose egg, we mean number 0 on the random number charts. So there you have it. Wild Goose Chase. That's a password you need to use. Looking forward to reading your comments. But anyway, that's enough of us. We're leaving, but we hope to catch you next time as we delve into the dungeon.